I know he likes to experiment with different stuff, and he's not scared of like picking out some new champs. Like I don't think MF was like played much if ever.
Yeah.
So it was fine into Senna, but it was not really good in versus enemy team code that they already built upon. So that was like something that felt a bit odd. And as we can see, well, Mad Lion's Koi, as you said, Aragon is just Maokai, Xin Zhao again banning out Peach. We're starting out with the Varus ban, so Supa cannot really fight too much on bot lane. I think it's same bans as they were game one.
Yeah, exact same bans so far. No reason that it would change.
I imagine now they'll follow up with the Calm ban, thank goodness.
Okay.
That was neutralizing Jackie so much. I think maybe the Ivan was a staple ban against El Yoyo as well, or the Brand if that's OP. If Brand is open, then I imagine they might just first pick that.
That's true, actually. Brand was banned previously, now we try to change it with Karma, so let's see what's gonna be the third ban, because Brand, it is a quite powerful pick, especially if Peach decides to pick against Sejuani.
They're both of them, so they're trading them.
Okay, we're basically gonna... I mean, I'm not sure if it's gonna be Senna again. Maybe it is. It's quite of a strong champion, and with the flexibility that they showed, it might be looking good. And yeah, we're seeing it again, the Senna. I'm curious what's gonna be the counter picks, or like the 1-2 picks, because Azir is a solid champion, don't get me wrong, but you have to kind of pair it as well as something that actually can like do something in the game. I felt like Azir Sejuani as a mid-jungle duo is not as oppressive as you would like it to be, as well as you kind of want Azir to both be scaling and kind of be able to fight, and I don't think that's something that Sejuani can provide.
And this is something we see in a lot of the drafts. Their drafts are often very one-dimensional. They'll blind pick Odo, his super comfort, and then pick their jungle and AD often early as well. I really hope we see Peach and Jackie's on some kind of strong 2v2 duo. I think what they were really dead set on was some kind of front-to-back comp with the Azir and Sejuani in the front line, but it looks like they might change that with the early proactivity on the rel.
I mean, I really like it. Like, although I'm on Rumble, that's a champion that's... Oh my god, in 2021, he was getting banned off all the time, because it was his like signature champion, so I really hope it's gonna be looking
good. Is it still
good.
as good though? Because we know that he's a master of the champion, but he's better from this patch.
Ah, the Rumble. I mean, you already got a pretty nice setup with Israel, and you flex it, so I believe it's a nice pick. Let's see if they're gonna, I don't know, maybe look for like a Poppy angle. For now, it's just Akali, so they want to give some more like threat into an enemy team. I wouldn't like to see Ivern specifically here. I think with Akali, you kind of want to match with more aggressive jungler. Oh, okay, actually, Sejuani Akali sounds... I would say it does sound fine with especially Senna on their side, because there's actually any kind of front line that Senna can like work with. What I assume now will happen with GX is that they're gonna either look for a mid counter on Akali, unless they think the Akali is a counter to Rumble, but I don't think that is the case, because I don't think... Back in the day, it used to be like a Hex Drinker meta. Okay, it's Jhin, so basically we decide to mismatch bot lane, and we don't want to fight unless we're gonna get a good matchup, which might happen, because we have a last pick, right? So Jhin is just a neutralizer, which I would say he's quite of a good one. The only issue is you see already Sejuani, if you're gonna see another tank, which might...
or something?
Yes, which might be a counter to Rumble, because that's what we actually see a lot of times, well, then it's gonna be a bit annoying. They already go for Tahm ban as well, which I would say is a really good ban with like champs we already have.
Yeah, probably gonna maybe a Nautilus ban as well, banning away the pairings. That's also a good duo with Sejuani.
I'm thinking actually if it's not gonna be Mad Lion's Koi who ban Nautilus, but we'll see that, because think about it, maybe you want to just go like the Leona and just actually fight bot lane, because Leona Jhin, quite of an old school duo, but they already have the Damwon skins together, so it is actually a bot lane that can pull off quite a lot of miracles. I'm not sure if in this match, but sure. Well, actually they banned Talia, so I guess they're thinking it might be, but I don't see much of a reason. Maybe it's actually good 1v1. Okay, there is a Hui ban as well. I think it's a pretty good... I think Hui has a really good setup, but I'm not sure if you want to have that much AP. Okay, I'm not sure if they should actually go for Nautilus.
I wonder what AD mid they're going to pair up the Sejuani with, because if you go an AP mid here, you're going to be really overstacked, I feel like, topside.
Yes.
So maybe, what are your AD mids that synergize well with Sejuani? Yone?
I mean, knowing Frescove... Oh, he actually likes to play Ezreal. It might be an Ezreal mid, even though it's blind. I think he likes one of those champions. I don't know how good it is this game.
Oh no.
Maybe it's just Corki. Maybe you just think about Corki though. I mean, I would say maybe it's too much AP damage actually.
Tristana.
Okay, Tristana, I guess. Okay, yeah, sure. That makes absolute sense. I mean, they did pick Nautilus, so Braum angle is fine. It's quite of a good neutralizer, but they have a last pick on mid lane. And I'm really curious how they're gonna salvage all of it.
Orianna, maybe? They need some kind of... It's a good matchup into the Tristana.
But then they lack kind of the base damage, like the constant damage, right? With Jhin, Rambo, it's more like a burst champs or like the champions that want to set up. Okay, we're going full poke, full like, kind of all-in way. I'm not sure how is the Jace Tristana matchup. I do think it's a bit better for Triss when it comes to scaling. But I think what's gonna be happening a lot first bot lane, even though it's a Braum, I think Jhin, Nautilus can actually look for stuff with Rel. And second is how the top lane will go versus Akali versus Rumble. But do you have any like idea how it could look nowadays?
I imagine the Rumble gets early shoved for a long time, but then Merwin, we've seen, he's very good on Akali. He actually flexed this before, so I was suspicious if it was going to be a flex pick early on. But yeah, I imagine the skirmishing's pretty good with the melee topside.
Looking at both compositions like this, given what Mad Lions Core has been able to do in Game 1 in the crushing way, they defeat Giant X. Who do you expect is going to take this one?
I think this, I would say this draft might favor GX just because of how much tools and like poke they have. And I think like the champions they get make quite a bit of sense into enemies. But again, right, enemy team has Tristana with Braum, they have a Senna, and they have like a Sejuani, which most of the times is quite tanky. It feels like the front to back for the left side is just so oppressive that it might not be even like worth picking so much poke and setup from the other side.
It's about how much uptime the carries are going to get versus that poke, you know, dropping the Rumble R as well as the Jace poke and the Jhin R. So it'll have to be down to execution, I think.
Let's see if Mad Lions Core's domination continue here in Game 2 as we leave it with Medivedi.
Thank you very much, Laura. We are into Game 2 of this series. Things continue the way they did in Game 1. We'll be heading home in about 25 minutes. Very Mad Lions just dominating. Absolutely one-sided stomp. Giant X have a few more tools in their toolkit this game, though. Obviously, Otra picking up his Rumble. Played that once so far in Winter, won on it. But we do have Jackie's, Patrick, and Ignar all first timing, at least for 2024. They're champions on the bottom and middle of the map.
I am very curious as to how this early prio is going to work. We think back to Game 1, the biggest reason why Mad Lions quite won that early game, they had pushing lanes everywhere, right? And the composition of itself from Giant X didn't matter. And sometimes like that's the case, right? You kind of look at a draft and its totality and you believe, well, okay, like if these comps fight, this team should win. But at the pro level, it's never quite as simple as that. And Mad Lions demonstrated for his last game why that's the case. So we've been seeing them try to get more prio this week. Last week we saw Akali from Friscawi. We also saw the Ezreal. Ezreal was a neutralizer. The Akali wasn't a great performance from him. But Game 1 he went for the Karma. This time he's going for the Tristana. Both champions that are really good at getting that push in lane. And credit to Friscawi, he moves a lot with Elyoya. He does a really good job of working with his jungler to work with where they have pressure. This bot lane should be a little bit different compared to what we saw last time round. Braum, while a pretty powerful duelist, thanks to his passive in the other game, against this Jhin, I'm curious as to if they have more power. It looks like Senna still wins.
And concussive blows are just so powerful in the 2v2, and when you get unbreakable as well for Alvaro, it becomes very hard for Ignar to ever hook in, because you hook in, you're met by a shield that blocks all of Jin's 4 shots, and then it can be a big struggle for Ignar to ever get out of the play.
You also have a few options on Braum too. You could go back to your teammate when the engage comes through, or you can actually just run at the other AD carry to just lock him up, right? Your slow from your Q is still very powerful. So
what's he going to do? Auto your shield?
Yeah, exactly, right? So, and then Braum will still have the W afterwards once he realizes that the other support is kind of isolated. Anyway, on the top side of the map is the matchup I'm actually the most curious about, because Akali, well, she loves melee matchups. She favors when you kind of have to come into her. The extended range that she has on her Q is really nice into these shorter range champions.
Wait, Peach is going to jump this wall, Billy.
I see Peach. Level 3, looking for an early gank bot lane.
No pings. Elioya didn't spot him. He's going to jump across the wall, look for that invade. This is so smart, actually, from Giant X, because they know MDK have been playing around the prio in the bottom lane to look for the invades. Here, they preempt the fact that Elioya is going to invade. Super having to get away with the flash heal burnt already. Alvaro now trying to escape as well. Still only level 2, but Elioya pulls away from the blue buff, comes across for the gank, flashes forward, lands on Peach. Peach re-engages. Patrick has no shots left. Nothing left in the gun right now as the stun lands onto Peach. Patrick reloads, but just not in time. MDK react well to the change of play from Giant X. Ignar stunned up, no flash for him, but concussive blows won't proc in time.
Wow. So Mad Lions Koi's bot lane do a good job of moving from the lane into the river. They don't try and retreat back to the tower because they know even if this jungler is creating this gank from behind, their jungler is still in the bot side river. So as soon as they can close that gap, the better. Alvaro does a good job of mitigating a lot of the damage thanks to his shield, and they buy enough time to turn this one around. So the gank is going to come through, only level 2 for the bot lane. The heal immediately popped and the flash. Great response. But then look at how much this is mitigating with the shield from Alvaro. They then turn their attention to him. The fourth shot is then going to come out from Patrick. And like, what other damage does he have? Nice engage from Elyoya. The re-engage from Peach, they think it's enough, but they just don't quite have the damage. And now Peach is isolated from his team. And again, it's this Sejuani Braum double passive just gives so much utility and damage in this early game that Mad Lions Koi find themselves another first blood.
Patrick uses the fourth shot into an aftershock Sejuani as well, while the aftershock's active, so it's even tankier. Very difficult for Giant X to win out that fight. As soon as Elyoya joined, you could see they were trying to preempt it. It was smart play initially to get round and get the gank off, but as you say, very well coordinated by MDK to escape it. Once again, they are out to an early lead. Ignar now teaming up with Peach, trying to get some vision in here on Elyoya, who was unable to steal away as many camps as he did in game 1 because that fight did begin. Patrick and Ignar here as well for the grubs. Now the wave is being held in the bottom lane. We'll see if that's frozen by Alvaro or whether or not he's just trying to hold it outside of the tower so that Super can get there in time. Ignar going forward. Frescowi jumps away from the dredge line. And Patrick and Ignar will work their way back down towards bot as the wave starts to crash in towards their turret.
Should be a Dragon Star here for Mad Lions Koi. You can see Giant X don't want to give it away completely uncontested. Rel clears those grubs very quickly. Yeah. But already the push is coming in from Mad Lions Koi.
They're gating really well here. They're making it very difficult for Patrick and Ignar to get back down towards the bottom lane because they can anticipate, hey, we started to shove the wave in bot. They're going to try and get back down here. We know Ignar was around mid, so if we can catch him out, it gives us more time for Super to push in the wave, get some damage on this tower, and deny XP from Patrick and Ignar.
But they can't spend too much time here because notice that Jackie's is already here. This will be a 3v4.
Peach dives in, the root on Alvaro as well. Super stunned up, and Jackie's comes in. Patrick takes the kill. Super down first. Alvaro sacrificed as well as Elyoya limps his way away. 2 kills over to Giant X.
And this is exactly what I was just talking about. They initially respected the fact that Frescowi wouldn't be able to move as easily as Jackie's was. He cleared out that mid wave and he had immediate access to his side of the jungle, whereas Frescowi would have been forced to go all the way around. Regardless, though, MDK still tried to force a fight. This time, though, they had the additional damage of Jackie's, and they were able to find 2 kills. Elyoya, though, is still hovering around bot lane. Super and Alvaro will make their way back. This is a huge minion wave, though.
Can't fight that.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth it, because even if you get a kill, is it worth all the experience and gold that that wave would contain? Just look at the minimap here. You can see that Jackie's is underneath this tower, and sorry, Frescowi is underneath his tower, whereas Jackie's has already made his way over to the fight, and that extra damage was all they really needed. They get a kill handed over to Patrick. Do they end up giving it? No, they end up giving the other kill over to Jackie, so it ends up being a kill for both carries, and Giant X finally find themselves with a small gold lead for now, and definitely a relief from all of the pressure that Mad Lions Koi have been putting on them ever since the start of last game.
Yeah, probably the first bit of sloppiness we've seen from MDK as well. They didn't need to push forward for the fight. They could have just satisfied themselves with denying a few CS to that tower, getting a bit of chip damage down towards the first plate, which seems to have fallen. Instead, they look for the fight, and because of it, they lose both of their bot lane and their support's lives. Still a lead, though, for Super in terms of CS. You can see he's 63, 64, about to tick over to 46. Only a slight gold lead because of the kill that Patrick did acquire.
Keep your eyes on mid as Peach is hovering around the lane, has the level 6 now. But nope, nothing really going to come off the back of it. Elyoya just going to be clearing through his bot side, getting close to his level 6. He should be able to secure it after red buff. But with no major objectives on the board at play, unlikely that we're going to see anything too chaotic. Just a bit of trading back and forth. The grubs will be spawning relatively soon. You imagine that will be Peach's prerogative to try and get And credit to Merwin, he's kept this matchup very even. I expected it to be a little bit more favored towards the Rumble, especially running the Comet. We've seen, I believe it was Merwin that we saw do this last time, where, of course, you can use your Q to reduce the cooldown of your Comet, which means that, you know, it's a pretty effective trading tool in the top side of the map, but Fleet Footwork just gives you way more sustain, which is often what I would have thought that you would need against a Rumble. But hey, Merwin still, regardless, doing a very good job. Has a small CS advantage, which should be closed by Otra catching that wave any second. And grubs now in 35 seconds.
Another plate falling in the mid lane. No one there to pick it up, though. Jackie's the only red gold lead for Giant X right now, about 200 gold ahead, and even gold between the two teams. Looks like Ignar's going to reset. Not yet level 6, might. I don't think he's in range for the XP from these, so won't get it before he bases. He'll team up with Peach to look towards those grubs, as you say, coming up in about 15 seconds time. Elioya's on that side of the map as well.
The difference is Ignar is making his way out onto the map first, but he's not level 6 yet, whereas Alvaro is. Would love to see Ignar making his way over. Oh,
Ignite. Odo's dead. Yeah, he's just dead.
Oh, the shield.
No, I think Ignite still gets him. It's enough for Merwin. A blasting wand enough to take down the Rumble. Remember, without his mech, he's just a little Yordle. You can always kill him.
Flawlessly done there from Merwin. Very well played. Akali does have a lot of trade potential. Wasn't expecting that tower dive to come through, though. Credit to Merwin. Now the Heralds fight, but the numbers in favor of Mad.
Out from Alvaro. Elioya going in. Currently, it's a 4v3 in favor of Giant X, but Super joins the fray. Peach diving in. Alvaro able to escape, and Peach getting burst down by MDK. A huge investment from Giant X to try and get these grubs. Instead, they lose their jungler, and they'll lose at least one of these. Odo could look for a steal, decides against it, doesn't really want to invest anything into taking away one of these grubs. Going to be 3 for 3 on as even in terms of the grubbies.
I underestimated. I thought that Merwin would actually just go straight from top down towards the fight. I guess he argued, you know what, I'm too low, I'm basing, guys. It ends up being a 4 versus 4. I guess that's why Giant X actually thought they could win the fight, because they were saying, hey, Patrick is going to be here before Super will, so it should be in our favor, but the amount of stall that Braum Sejuani has is excessive. And even in this early game, just because of the Unbreakable, they just have so much durability. And the Sejuani passive, it's just, it's a lot.
And you have extra CC coming out from the center. You've got damage from her. You've got healing. You've got the Tristana who's able to free fire. And you've got Jackie's getting caught out here in the mid lane. Dawning Shadow coming across. Jackie's has the flash. And Frescowi saves his life by knocking him away with the Buster Shot. A little bit of a miscalculation there. Frescowi did the maths, but damn, he's bad at it as he kicks him away to safety. He will still get some damage on the tower in the mid lane.
I guess he believed that with the explosion from his E and the ultimate, that would be enough burst damage, but that health pot doing wonders for Jackie's, keeping him at just above the required HP. I thought that they would just siege for this tower. They decided, you know what, we need to go back to base. We need to reset, spend some of our gold. Very close call there for Jackie's, but the gold lead still mounting in favor of Mad Lions Koi. Leandri's actually picked up for Merwin. I mean, I've seen a lot of Akali builds. Comet with Leandri's Rush is definitely on the lower end of ones that I've seen.
You're going to pick it up for your solo queue.
Not that I have any criticism towards it, of course. Like, it's just, just so many build variations. I have to imagine that this one is more about like chipping away your opponents, and obviously you can take full advantage of the passive because you're in fights for so long. Anyway, the Dragon being started off by Giant X. Super still needs to make his way down. I don't think he's going to get there in time. And Mad Lions Koi, I think, should just prioritize that mid-tier 1. Let's see what they decide to do, though.
Alvaro will step forward, the Drake taken. MDK just trying to stop Giant X from having a free route towards this mid lane. Frescowi pushing forward. There's the Glacial Fissure going down. Unbreakable used as well as Peach falls low. Elioya diving in. Equalizer on the back line. Not able to get the damage down here from Oda. Merwin, though, diving forward. They've taken out one already as Frescowi gets the kill. Jackie's forced away. The rest of Giant X still trying to get back towards that mid lane. The curtain's open. Will they close on Elioya? Again, the Unbreakable eats a shot, but Alvaro eats his death. Frescowi now diving forward. Jackie's and Oda low, looking for the resets. Can't find them. Glacial Prison flashed by Patrick. Super still stepping in, looking for a bit more damage. Last Embrace, the stun. This cleanse not enough to allow Patrick to escape.
Great awareness of his damage output there. Super finds an extra kill onto Patrick. I believe that ended up being a 3-for-1, maybe a 3-for-2 in favor of Mad Lions Koi. They would love to secure that mid tower as well, but if he overstays TP coming in, I don't think Odo can get anything here. His ult isn't back up, or is it?
No. That's about halfway off its cooldown.
Okay, my apologies.
I mean, you gave us a moment of tension, though. It's like one of those murder mysteries where you know exactly who's done it, but it's like, oh, but did the policeman do it with the carton of milk?
I thought that they would just act as zoners to try and allow for Super and Friscawi to get the tower. They go all in. They get a good amount of damage onto Peach, who's able to get away to safety. But then Merwin comes in, cleans up the explosive shot, ends up getting it. Then you know what? They back away. They realize, you know what? We can't get anything more of that Giant X trying to retreat. Mad Lions Core trying to retreat. Then Patrick said, hey, still got this ultimate available. I think this could be a good fight. Ignore with the re-engage, but Alvaro blocks so much damage from both Odo Omni and Patrick. They end up trading 1-for-1, but with this numbers advantage, they think that they can keep chasing. They get the flash out then from Patrick, and then Super. I think Patrick wasn't expecting this. He reacted incredibly well. Good cleanse, but the damage was far too much, and Super secures another kill.
Super on the center having an excellent series so far. 46 stacks on him, 14 minutes into the game. So definitely doing a lot of work for his team. Patrick steps forward here. The control wall cleared out by Elyoya and Merwin, but this will be the mid lane tier 1 falling and a 3,000 gold lead materializing for MDK after a much more even early game than game 1.
For sure. I mean, they're finding great fights again, and I just think G2 picked up the center. Mad Lions, Koi picking up the center. I think center is really strong. I do think some teams are sleeping on the power of this pick. I feel like the whole idea is like, oh, she scales, you know, she's really good in the late game, but I'm yet to see teams successfully punish this champion in the laning phase. And perhaps there are better teams out there that are better at punishing the champion, but in Europe, they are struggling to do just that.
All right, Betty, I have been away for a little while, but having watched today and a few of the VODs, I can say there are definitely better teams out there. Okay?
Well, you don't know that for certain, okay? You gotta give me something, man.
I know you went to the dentist recently. Did you get a prescription for that copium? Or some powerful stuff you're on right now, man.
Koi putting their focus towards the bot side of the map. Dragon's running around minute 45. And again, they're creating this 4-1 setup. They love this setup. They've been using it all season long. Usually it's Merwin sitting in the isolated lane. This time, though,
I don't think the Rift Tower is really necessary.
Oh, there he is. He's with the rest of his team.
Here we go. Charging forward. Jumps away.
But looking for Scowie mid lane as well. He's just chipping away at that tower. They're more than happy to concede this tier 2 in the top lane.
It's exactly the exchange that Giant X took in game 1 as well. Jackie's was pushing in top. They had bounties at that point, but he'll take 2 towers in exchange for 3 or 2.5. MDK could look for more. They'll take away the jungle. Jackie's will be able to finish off that tier 2, as you say, but it's still only an even tower trade, and you're losing your entire jungle.
My question is, do Mad Lions Koi choose to reset ahead of the dragon spawning?
I think they might fight, Betty, as the Glacial Prison hits onto Peach. He tries to jump away, but he's locked up, knocked up, and almost taken out of the fray. The explosive shot will be enough. Scowie goes on a killing spree, 3-0 on the Tristana.
Yeah. That was ambitious by Peach to try and steal away the blue. He ends up getting punished. 7 kills to 3. 4K is the gold lead.
Pear-shaped for Peach?
Well, no. Because he's not a pear, he's a peach.
Yeah, but pear-shaped, it means it went poorly.
But he's a peach, man. Another tower secured for Mad Lions Koi. Dragon is spawning. 15 seconds, curtain call.
That should be fine. Elyoya can tank a couple of these. Friscawi will tank one as well. Odo Omni looking for a little bit more. Does have that equalizer, but where's the rest of the follow-up? He burnt the curtain call. Ignar comes in, just trying to stop the recalls from MDK. They don't do those, but they can just recall a little bit further away and they'll be fine.
But while that was happening, Merwin, unsurprisingly, went mid, pushed another wave. I mean, this team, they're doing a great job of playing around the lanes. They will concede a dragon, not the end of the world. They did spend a lot of time on the bot side of the map. They were sitting on a lot of gold. I'm curious as to what Friscawi will buy. Will we see a fully completed item? Oh, not quite. Opponents working their way up there, though. But now, what do Mad Lions do? They turn their attention to the top side. You look at the minimap, and immediately they make a beeline towards mid lane. Their bot lane has already pushed in that wave. Tristana is going to go and catch. The vision is already being invested into the top side jungle, and that means that they're going to secure another objective. Mad Lions Koi are doing a great job in this mid game of just putting the pressure down. And the fact that they always control 2 lanes means that they always just get that bit more. They grow that gold lead ever so slightly, and they should be able to continue this siege. Resets are actually coming through for this team, or some of the members of the team, I should say. The Baron is spawning in a minute 20, so I wonder if they say, you know what, we're happy to just take this tower for now. We're going to go and catch bot wave. We have TPs for Fresskowy, so why don't we send him to get that extra bit of gold to complete that second item, and then we can make immediately back. They can move back towards the Baron to start contesting that objective.
I was trying to work out where Fresskowy was going with this build. Caulfield's Vamp Scepter and Pickaxe don't really build into anything. I think the Vamp Scepter might just be to sit on. The Caulfield's,
that was my suspicion, yes.
Caulfield's and the Pickaxe to build into something else, but we'll see. I think the removal of mythics in the game has allowed a little bit more flexibility in terms of build, which I quite like. Considering mythics were introduced originally to provide more flexibility in terms of builds, I think we finally got to that point, which is nice.
I mean, I'm having a lot of fun playing the game right now.
Do you ever get to a point in the game? I do it a lot with supports where I'm like, I've got Locket, I can't get Shurelias now, because in my head you can't get them both, right? Because they were both mythics. And then halfway through the game, my Twitch chat will be like, "Hey medic, why haven't you bought Shurelias? What are you doing?"
The only thing that annoys me is that I'm a Nakali one trick now.
Okay, that annoys me too, but we go ahead.
But the game keeps telling me to build, like, when I finish my 3 items, it's like, you should build Void Staff, or you should build Zhonya's. And I'm like, why aren't you recommending Death Cap?
It has seen your playstyle, Medi. Yeah, there's an avoid second. So the Vamp Scepter was just to sit on for Fresskowy. Now Mad Lions pushing in the top side of the map. They've already cleared off the turrets everywhere outside of the base of Giant X, except for this lone tier 2 in the top lane. Super continues to chip away at this tower. 60 stacks for him. Jackie's slowed, but just forced away enough that MDK can tank up the turret and take it. The inhibitor tower in the mid lane falls. Merwin trying to flank here will get hooked. Riptide going out as well from Ignar as Merwin, no flash on him. Won't be taken out, no more damage remaining. Really, the equalizer will not kill him, but the curtain call will. 1-for-1 trade so far as Peach falls as well. Fresskowy's now going to open up on Oda Omne, who's gone a very, very long way from home. And it's a 2-for-1 exchange in the end in favor of MDK.
With the jungler dead, that could be the window that MDK are looking to jump through to secure this Baron. With 3 members still alive, Giant X could look to contest. They do have decent range. You're looking at a Jhin and a Jace here. The curtain call is available. Let's see if they can get to cooking.
Let's see what Giant X decide to do. I think curtain call was used in the last fight. That might be a graphical overlay bug there. As Patrick steps forward, Elioyo is low. He'll get taken out. Fresskowy now opens up and jumps, and Goomba stomps Patrick to the floor. Ignar next on the menu is going to be a triple for Fresskowy. 7-0 now on the Tristana.
So the Baron ends up not being secured by Mad Lions Koi, but they do take out another 3 members of Giant X. The gold lead continues to mount. Resets are going to come through. Dragon spawning in about a minute's time. They could turn their attention towards it. But overall, I've really enjoyed the way in which Mad Lions just keep trying to accelerate the game. They keep trying to push forward. But in this situation, it's them starting off the Baron. Giant X finding a window with good damage initially onto Elioyo. He turns onto Patrick. The shield isn't quite enough to protect him, so he ends up losing his life to Jackie's, but then Fresskowy, untouched on the backline, gets the resets on his W. Kill after kill after kill. Triple for the mid laners of MDK.
Yeah, it's had a really good performance on the Tristana in this game. I saw a few people saying they put him on the Karma in game 1 because you don't have to have as much of a carry impact on a champion in the form of a Karma. Obviously, you can still do a lot of work, but here on the Tristana, he's really showing up. As 7 of his team's 12 kills and a 7,000 gold lead for MDK. They'll keep trying to force the tempo. Peach caught out a little bit. Concussive blows not procced as Ignar steps around the corner to try and help his jungler, but MDK have total control of this top side. Still that tier 2 remains for Giant X, that last bastion of hope outside their base. Root lands onto Alvaro. He puts up the Unbreakable. Super looking for the stun. Glacial Prism going down as Peach falls low, but he does have the time to jump away. And now Elioyo is a little bit split from the rest of the team. Fresskowy is coming in from the side here as well, though, as he could look for Patrick and Ignar. Doesn't quite join up with the team in time, and in the end. MDK's foray into the jungle does secure them some Razor Beaks and some vision, which will have to be cleared out by Giant X.
Yoga ult and Alvaro ult were used in that exchange, but they don't quite secure the kill. Overall, they do get very good vision into the top side of Giant X's jungle. But they can start off this dragon. Completely forgot about that objective with all of the priority being centered around that top side and the Baron. There's little that Giant X can do to contest this. Frescowy's going to come over and help him clear that one out alongside Super.
I mean, the benefit for Giant X is they've taken 2 of these. So it's not like this is getting MDK onto soul points. It's not like they have to worry too much about a Mountain Soul too soon, which would be very powerful on a Sejuani and a Braum. Just makes you that much tankier, that much harder to deal with. And with Giant X falling behind in terms of gold, they'll fall behind in terms of damage as well. Jackie's is at 3 items, so he'll start putting down some DPS, but it's hard when he's really your main damage source against a Sejuani and a Braum.
The components are now complete for Frescowy, though. Bloodthirster finished as well. Means that he's strong. This Tristana is terrifying, if he wasn't already. Giant X doing what they can to not lose all control of their topside jungle. The top wave pushed in once more. Observers highlighting what Giant X can see. And it's not very much. The mid wave is constantly pushed in. That ward on the top side of the map offering a little bit of information.
Okay, so that's Farsight number 1. I believe they have 2 more. There's Farsight number 2. Oh, that's just the ward across the wall. Ignar, no wards left in his inventory. There's Farsight number 2. You know, it's down to about 5,000. Unbreakable comes out from Alvaro. Curtain Core being held on. 2-second bullet fired out. There's the 3rd one left in the chamber. Merwin, a good flank position. There's the 4th. Hits Alvaro. Hook goes in onto Ignar. Jackie's going to join the fight as Merwin tries to keep him away. And Jackie's tried to flash a Shuriken but couldn't get away in time. Merwin just assassinates the backline. Patrick low, Peach down to 2/3 as well, but Elioya, Super, and Frescowy are forced off towards the top side here. Odomne flashing forward, Glacial Prison going wide, Super flashing away. The heal as well for a little bit of extra movement speed, but Peach now has a good flank position off as Merwin does have the TP and is about to reset. Can he find a way to join this fight? Ignar flashing in as they catch out Elioya. Good hook onto Frescowy as well, but he still has his flash, and there's the TP behind by Merwin. The Dawning Shadow goes wide. Ignar down there, and Frescowy, he can see the resets in his eyes. He jumps on 1, he jumps on 2. He gets a double for Merwin too.
Mad Lions Koi make the fight work out. The ace is secured. And that's going to unlock the Baron. So much of my focus at the start of that fight was on Merwin. His flank looked so good, and I thought that was going to be a 1 fight. But on the left side, the front line from Alvaro disappears. He ends up losing his life. Just keep your eyes on Merwin here. Gets this execution. A really nice combination on the back line, though, between Peach and Odomne. Sets up Giant X beautifully. The problem is Merwin is going to go back to base and then TP back into the fight. And all Mad Lions Koi are doing are buying time. Super gets a bit of a heal, does good damage, stalling where he can. They're going to get a nice interrupt onto Peach here with the Q from Elioya. And then even though Elioya loses his life, they recognize, hang on a minute, we've got more than enough damage to kill here. They've got full HP on all the carries. And yeah, it just becomes a slaughter. Well played from Mad Lions Koi. A great TP from Merwin to solidify the fight, the Baron, and very likely the game.
A little bit messier here from MDK, but still in commanding position. 26 minutes in. They are 10,000 gold ahead. They have Baron buff for the next 2 minutes, and they've already cracked an inhibitor. You can see Frescowy in this 1-4 split is down in the bottom lane, getting that next wave forward. MDK can walk through the base. It's a little trickier, as Giant X could collapse as they go forward. Ignar, Hex flashing, Alvaro with a good Glacial Fissure. Lands on 2, the prison on Odo as well, and he doesn't even have time to use the equalizer. Peach dives forward with the Magnet Storm, but he's immediately assassinated as MDK find 2. It's up to Patrick, Jackies, and Ignar to try and defend, to try and fight for Giant X's lives here in the winter split. But MDK have a date with Vitality on Monday, it seems, and they do not want to be late. The curtains open, but the curtains on winter will fall for Giant X. MDK are looking for more as Ignar locked up, stunned up. The flash forward onto Patrick. Jackies gets onto the back line, but Patrick's down, Jackie's down, and MDK are through to the next round.
Another impressive game, and overall a very clean performance on the